Hey, Boxing Fanatics, Alex Murphy, thank you for giving me your time once again. And another congratulations on another win.
Thank
Now
you.
8-0. Yeah, just want your thoughts on your last performance. Yeah, how do you reflect on your latest win?
Yeah, no, really good. Good performance, mate. It ended up being the same opponent, Liam Fox again. That was due to me other opponent pulling out 5 days before. And luckily, Liam stepped in again and said he'd fight. So at least I got a fight. So it's a bit different going into this fight because obviously I knew what my opponent was going to be like. I had boxing before. This is the first time I had experienced that in my career. And I think it helped, like I knew his style. I knew what I did well last time, and I sort of just implemented that again into the game plan. And yeah, I boxed well, got the job done, and yeah, another good win.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, I saw that you fought Liam again. Um, Going into the fight, what's it like when you've already beaten someone? Do you have like kind of a sense of complacency a little bit? Do you feel, I guess, more confident than against someone that you haven't fought before? What's kind of your mind?
Um, nah, I wouldn't say so. No, I definitely didn't go in there complacent. Because I knew, obviously, because I had beaten him already before. You have the sense of he might want his own revenge. He knows what I'm like, so that was one thing I had to be aware of. He knows my style. So yeah, so no, I weren't going in complacent, but I understand what you mean. Yeah, because I've already beat him once. It'd be easy to sort of switch off, and we'll be like, well, I'm going to beat him again. But yeah, no, I didn't go in with that attitude. I went in like it's going to be a completely different fight, and I think it was a different fight as well. Like in the first round, he came out throwing these big overhand rights, which he started landing from the first bell really until I sort of changed and adapted the style, and he weren't landing them in the first fight. So whether we weren't throwing them in that first fight, and then all of a sudden he's come out and he's changed it a little bit to throw me off. And it worked for him, at the start, first opening round, and then like I said, I had to adapt and change, and I stopped him landing that. But yeah, and I knew it'd be a different fight, and it was.
Yeah, 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 100%. And the last time I spoke to you, you said you think you're going to be back in the ring on the 28th of July. Is that still the plan?
No, so that I'm gutted, mate, 'cause that show's been cancelled. So that was meant to be in Portugal, yeah, on the 28th of July. But the whole show's been scrapped. So no, I don't have that one anymore. So now I'm just waiting for the date. I've been told around September time. So, but I haven't got a date yet. So I'm just waiting for that.
Sure, sure, sure. I guess eventually it will happen that you will fight abroad. Like what was the plan? Like when it comes to fighting abroad, what was the plan for you and your team? Like in terms of when do you go abroad? Like how long do you like to? I know you haven't done it yet, but like what was
Yeah.
the initial plan of how long you'd spend before the fight and stuff in a different location? Would you base your whole camp there, or was it just like the last time?
Um. Yeah. No. I mean, with this, obviously, if this fight was going ahead, I wouldn't base the whole camp there. No, I'd stay in Manchester, and do the camp from Manchester. Now, in terms of when we'd go over, we hadn't got to that sort of decision just yet because obviously I had that fight in the pipeline
Mhm.
whilst having the fight that I've just had still there. So
Yeah,
all of our focus was on that fight
yeah,
that I've
yeah.
just had. We hadn't walked ahead to the Portugal fight, and then I think it was like a couple of weeks before my last fight. That's when I found out that the Portugal fight was no longer going ahead. So, yeah. So in all honesty, I don't know in terms of what the plans would have been. How long would we have gone over there for? Because I suppose you've got especially somewhere abroad like Portugal where the weather's a lot warmer. You've got to adapt to that climate and sort of get used to it, haven't you? So whether we'd go on a week before, 2 weeks before, do a bit of training there, the last week of training maybe, and then fight. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, no doubt it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
eventually. We've got the connections there in Portugal. So I'm sure it'll come on the cards, eventually in the future. And I'd love to fight there. It's experience, isn't it? Good valuable experience. So hopefully, mate, it'll come off one day. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, Alex, if you don't mind me saying, so you've got eight wins now.
Yeah.
You've yet to get a knockout. Is this something
Hmm.
you're working on in the? Is this obviously you are winning, which is the main thing.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm not saying is this a concern, but is this something you're kind of working on? Does it bother you at all that you've not got a knockout yet, or is it just
Um,
getting the wins in?
yeah, it does. To be fair, obviously, I'd like knockouts. If my record was 8-0, 8 knockouts, it'd be a lot better, wouldn't it? And I just think the way it reflects a little bit on my style. I'm not a big knockout puncher. I never have been. I've always been the boxer type. I'm good at what I do in terms of boxing. Got a good style, but my power is coming on, and it gets a bit frustrating at times because I've had a couple of fights where the stoppage has been there on the cards, and the opponents have just survived, and then I look back and I just think, it would have looked good, if I would have got that stoppage on the record. But so I'm sort of not getting too caught up in it because I know I'm doing well, and I know it's on the horizon. It definitely is there.
Mhm.
Um, it's just a matter of when, So I'm doing everything right. My strength's coming on well. Got to remember as well. I'm still young. I'm 22 years of age. So I'm not even fully developed. A lot of people say I don't even have my man strength, as you call it. So I've still got all that to come yet, and I've only been really working with my strength conditioning coach now for just over a year. So I'm still building the foundations in terms of my strength work. So I've got all that to come, and to get stronger and whatnot. So I think as I grow older, and I fill out a bit more, and I get my man strength, then I think that the stoppages will come. But even so, it's not going to change my style. I'm not all of a sudden going to become Deontay Wilder. I think when the stoppages do come with me, it'll more be the case of I've picked a nice body shot, or I've been busy, and the opponent's not answering back, and the ref has to jump in. I think it'll be stoppages like that, and they're the stoppages that I've been close to, in my fights, and it's just not worked out. But yeah, no, I would like a stoppage. It'd look good for the record, but it doesn't bother me too much. Like you say, I'm getting the wins, and I suppose that's what counts.
Yeah, that's true, 100%. Can you provide an insight into kind of what you're doing with your S&C coach? Is it kind of like is it a mixture of weight training and also kind of, I guess, power-based stuff? Just for anyone watching,
Yeah,
like what kind of stuff do you get up to, like in terms of strength work?
yeah, mate. There's loads, to be fair. Absolutely loads. I've learned a lot whilst being with him. Yeah, we do a lot of strength work, a lot of working on power when it gets close to fights. It shifts a little bit to more explosive movements. Work on everything, mate. Work on stability, work on core. There's so much that goes into it. We've got the conditioning at the end, the treadmill runs, the curve sprints, the hill sprints. The sled pushes. Like there's loads of stuff that we do that have massively benefited. My career so far. Even like my sparring partners have picked up on it over the last year. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting fitter. And a lot of that is down to the strength work. But yeah, it's so complex. The strength conditioning that I do. There's loads of different stuff in it. Like now, now I've just had a fight. We'll probably go to more strength work, to deadlifts. Building the foundations on that, and then yeah, when I get closer to the fight, work more sort of speed, explosive, plyometrics, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. I have noticed that in your last couple of fights, you've weighed in a little bit heavier.
Yeah,
You're listed at 5'10", which is
yeah,
which is fairly tall for a lightweight, even a super lightweight. And
yeah.
you're only 22. Do you see yourself moving up the weight divisions as you grow older, or
Um, I'd probably say no, to be fair. I reckon lightweight and super lightweight is, where I'm definitely going to be in the mix at. I don't look at going above super lightweight. The main reason that I've been in at super lightweight the last few is because on my sick fight when I fought, I didn't use me nutritionist for the whole camp. Silly mistake from my end. And then it got to the week before the fight, and I was meant to weigh in at 61 kilo, and this was day of weigh-in as well, and the week before I was still 3 kilos overweight, and yeah, I had to ring my nutritionist and say, listen, I've made a mistake. I didn't get you on board this fight. I need you out this last week, and Pete Bell came on board. He started me out, and I got to the weight, but I felt so drained, mate. Like having to drop 3 kilos in a week, and it reflected in my performance as well. Like I got the win, but it wasn't the best. It wasn't a great performance whatsoever. So I just thought to myself, at this point in my career where, I'm not boxing for titles just yet, so I don't need to make 61. I'll experiment a little bit and go a bit heavier, and then just sort of see how I feel at that. And another factor as well was when I boxed Liam Fox the first time. It was obviously on that Channel 5 show, and it was 10 days notice. So Kieran, my manager, rang me up, and he said to me, like, what are you weighing? And I said 65 kilo at the time. So he said, sound, we'll just fight at that, and I'll match you with Liam. So I said, all right, no worries. So I boxed at 65, and I felt mint. I felt really good. And then so I thought to myself, well, I'll fight for my next one. I'll fight around, similar to that, but I'll come down a little bit. So I was set to box at, I wanted to make around 63 and a half. And like I say, I had an opponent, and I was going to come in at around 63 and a half. And then 5 days before he pulled out, and then I found out I was with Liam again. So I thought, well, he's going to be a bit heavier. So I went up to it, and I think I weighed in at 64. And again, I felt good. But yeah, I think for the next couple, I'll go to 63 and a half again. And if I get a day before weigh-in, I can easily make 61. 63 and a half, that's nothing to make. Like now, I'll probably be walking around at 65, 66. It's literally nothing to come off, But I felt good fighting it a bit heavier the last few. So I don't want to drain myself and get down to 61, if I don't need to. But 61 kilo, it is easy to make when I do it right. So like if I have a nutritionist for like the 6 weeks, I can get down to it pretty easily. But yeah, for now I'm just sort of experimenting with around 63, 64.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good. Alex, I just want to get your views on a couple on your division. Did you get the chance to see Teofimo Lopez versus Josh Taylor about a month or so ago?
I didn't watch the full fight. I watched the highlights after it, and it looked like Lopez took him to school a little bit, didn't it? But yeah, it looked like he performed really well, Lopez.
Yeah. In your opinion, out of the kind of the lightweights, out of like Davis, Haney, Lopez, who do you put? Even Shakur Stevenson, who do you put at the top of like the tree out of those? If you obviously they've not all fought each other yet, but
No.
yeah, who do you view as kind of the man to beat, I guess? And
I think Shakur's definitely on the rise. And I think he's sort of, coming into the mix to be the man to beat. Obviously you've got Tank, who's, he's a massive puncher, and you can't take that away from him. So I feel like if he lands, he sort of beats anybody. But that'd be a really good fight to watch. I think that'd be the ultimate fight in that division, Shakur versus Tank. I think it'd be out of them two definitely, but I think Shakur obviously in terms of skill, it is probably the best in that division, I'd say.
Fair enough. Okay, Alex. As always, thanks a lot for giving me some of your time. And yeah, you're on holiday, aren't you? So yeah, enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that.
All right, mate. All right, cheers. Take care.
Top one, mate. See you later.